worst thing a guest has ever done in your home? It started innocently. My sister Sylvia called me on a Tuesday evening, sounding worried. She explained that her friend Nathan had just been kicked out of his apartment because his roommate's girlfriend needed his room. According to her, Nathan was a really nice guy who just needed a place to crash for a week until he found a new place. She insisted he was clean, respectful, and would stay out of my way. I have a spare bedroom in my house that I bought last year after landing a decent job. I was hesitant. I value my space. But Sylvia kept pleading. After 20 minutes, I reluctantly agreed. Just for a week, I told her. Nathan arrived the next day with 2 suitcases. He seemed polite enough, thanking me for letting him stay. I showed him the spare room, gave him keys, and explained some basic rules. Clean up after yourself. No parties. Let me know if you're bringing anyone over, and respect that I work from home 3 days a week. The first few days were fine. Nathan would leave early saying he was apartment hunting, and return in the evening. He kept to himself, and our interactions were pleasant. I remember thinking Sylvia was right. He seemed decent. By day 5, things started to shift. Food began disappearing from the fridge. Not just snacks, but meal prep containers I'd made for the week. When I mentioned it, Nathan apologized and offered to replace them, but never did. Then I noticed things in common areas being moved or left messy. Dishes piling up. The living room looking like someone had slept on the couch. A week passed. Then another. Nathan had a string of excuses about why apartment hunting was taking longer than expected. The market was tough. A place fell through. He needed to wait for his next paycheck for the security deposit. Each excuse seemed reasonable alone, but they were stacking up. I expressed concerns to my boyfriend Noah, who suggested setting a firm move-out date. When I tried, Nathan became extraordinarily apologetic, even tearing up about his situation. Like an idiot, I gave in. By week 3, I really regretted my decision. Nathan no longer pretended to clean up after himself. He'd started bringing friends over without asking. I came home from dinner with Noah one night to find 3 strangers in my living room playing video games on my TV. When confronted, he acted like I was being unreasonable. I called Sylvia to express my frustration, only to discover she wasn't nearly as close with Nathan as she'd implied. Apparently, he was more of a friend she'd only hung out with a few times. She apologized, but wasn't much help. I felt manipulated, but still didn't want to throw someone out on the street. The breaking point came when I started noticing things missing. At first, small stuff I could almost convince myself I'd misplaced. Wireless earbuds, a necklace Noah had given me, cash from my drawer. But then my friend Sophia came over for wine night, and when she used the bathroom, she noticed something odd. A small black dot near the ceiling vent. It was a camera. A hidden camera in my bathroom. My hands shook as we inspected it. It was definitely a camera, positioned to capture the shower area. I felt sick, violated in the most personal way, and I knew immediately who had put it there. I called Noah in a panic, and he came right over. Together with my neighbor Joseph, a rather imposing security guard I'd befriended, we confronted Nathan. The look on his face wasn't shock or denial, but annoyance at being caught. He claimed it was for security purposes, and that I was overreacting. When Noah showed him the camera angle pointing directly at the shower, Nathan's excuses fell apart. He became hostile, claiming this was his room too now and he had rights. Noah blocked Nathan's path, stating that he wouldn't leave until he returned all the stolen property. Nathan tried to resist, but seeing Joseph standing next to Noah, he quickly surrendered. Under close supervision, he reluctantly retrieved my earbuds, jewelry, and other small valuables he had managed to take during his stay. Noah didn't stop there and demanded Nathan's phone. After some resistance, Nathan eventually unlocked the device. Noah methodically checked the gallery and made him delete all files recorded from the cameras in the bathroom and bedroom. He also checked cloud storage services and made sure no copies of these disgusting recordings remained anywhere. After all the stolen property was returned and the recordings deleted, we still called the police. The arriving officers took the cameras as evidence, and we filed a detailed report. Nathan was arrested for invasion of privacy and theft. I changed the locks that same day. I deep cleaned everything, especially the guest room, which reeked of cigarettes despite my no-smoking rule. I found burn marks on the windowsill, stains on the carpet, and a hole in the wall behind the dresser.